we have a very busy schedule. It's scheduled down to the 5-minute increment, which is pretty amazing. Our day typically officially starts at 7, and so we'll generally wake up maybe at 6.
What time zone is that?
So we're in the great question, because we're flying around the Earth at 17,500 miles per hour. It means we see 16 sunrises and sunsets in a 24-hour period.
OK， 大家好，欢迎来到这一集的跳脱都市圈。这一集我会用全英文的方式访谈，因为我们这次的来宾非常特别。The guest today is a NASA astronaut. Born in Taiwan, your mother is Taiwanese, your father is American. You have a doctorate of medicine degree and a minor in Mandarin Chinese.
That's true.
And you've worked and lived in space for over 300 days. So let's welcome Dr. Kjell Lindgren.
大家好.
大家好. How is your Mandarin?
Very, very poor.
Very, very poor. Besides 大家好, can you do like a more elaborate intro?
Nope.
No, that's it. Okay, but it is my absolute honor and privilege to have you on our podcast because you are an extraordinary individual and you represent a lot of people's dreams and goals. So you're really an inspiration for a lot of us. So thank you for coming on and joining me on this conversation.
Well, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you.
I appreciate the kind words. Just a normal person with an extraordinary job, getting to work with an extraordinary team, and very grateful for that opportunity. But grateful to be here today with you. Thank you for your time and this opportunity to chat.
So first of all, I want to welcome you back to Taiwan. You were born in Taiwan. When was the last time you came to Taiwan?
Yeah, that's right. So born in Taiwan, lived here for two years in Taichung, and then had the opportunity to come back a couple of times in the 80s while my mom's family was still living here and got to visit over the summer. The last time I was here was during university, between my third and fourth years during the summer, got to do a foreign language exchange here.
Nice.
So that was in 94. So it's been decades since I've been back.
I was 5. So that's quite a long time. So you're going to be in Taiwan for about a week.
That's
this
right.
trip, right? And you've already spent maybe like a day and a half in Taiwan. What's your impression of Taiwan today versus like 30 years ago when you were back in your college days?
It is vibrant. And amazing. And, just getting to walk the streets. The first day that we were here, we did a historic walking tour for 3 hours.
3 hours? That's quite a walk.
Started at Longshan Temple and ended at the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial.
Oh, nice.
And so just to absorb the history that's here.
Yeah.
To see the people, to see the industry and really the vibrancy of the community in downtown Taipei has been amazing. And so got to sample some foods.
Ooh.
And
what did you eat?
Well, let's see. We've had bubble tea, of course.
Of course.
And then have had some ramen and some rice dishes, and so wonderful.
Are you gonna get a chance to maybe visit one of the night markets?
That is definitely on our list.
On your list?
So in the evening, once our day work is done, we definitely want.
Awesome. Are you gonna get a chance to go back to Taichung?
We are.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be a very beautiful,
Absolutely. In fact, yesterday we visited the National Palace Museum, and afterwards took a bus and then walked away to see the hospital where I was born.
So, here in Taipei?
Here in Taipei, that's right. So it used to be a U.S. Navy hospital. Is now, right? I think, a veterans physical rehabilitation hospital.
Wow.
But got to see the place where I was born, which is pretty amazing. And really the beginning of this incredible journey that I've had, ultimately flying in space and now getting to come back and share that experience.
Now, talking about this incredible journey, how does one become an astronaut? Like, what's the story of your journey of becoming an astronaut?
Sure. That is a long story.
It's a long story.
And very convoluted. I would say that it is based in inspiration, stubbornness, and hard work. And so I grew up, I love science fiction, I'm a Star Wars kid and love to read science fiction, but recall very clearly my second grade teacher wheeling a television into our room in 1981 and watching the very first space shuttle launch. And that's when it occurred to me that living and working in space is not just science fiction, that we were actually doing it.
Right.
And so then I had caught in the bug. And so I wanted to be an astronaut. I read books of the early biographies of our early astronauts, and everybody was a test pilot. And so I decided, well, that's apparently what I need to do, become an astronaut. My father was in the Air Force, and so I followed a path that ultimately led through the Air Force Academy to pilot training. In pilot training, I was diagnosed with asthma and told not only are you not going to be able to fly, but we're going to kick you out of the Air Force.
Ooh.
And so my story is an incredible one because it feels impossible that I should be here getting to share the experience of spaceflight, because in my mind, there is no connection between being kicked out of the military and ultimately becoming an astronaut.
Right.
And so very difficult time. The obliteration of that dream of someday becoming an astronaut.
And you were so close.
And
you
it
were
was
on
that path, absolutely.
Right.
A path that I had charted out and was following very closely.
Right.
I fought I appealed the decision because I felt an obligation to this incredible education and opportunity that I'd been given. But ultimately, that decision was upheld. I had to rely on family and friends and my faith, and ultimately chart a new path. And so in undergraduate, I was pre-med. And while I was waiting for the diagnosis, I was taking MCAT courses and preparing for medical school entrance exams on the off chance that I wouldn't be able to fly, that I would have something else to offer to
just
the Air
in
Force.
case. Yeah.
But ultimately, I was accepted into the University of Colorado School of Medicine program, went through medical school, trained in emergency medicine. And it was during that time in our program, we dive in hyperbaric chambers. And you can't do that and have asthma. And so I was tested, and they said, you don't have asthma.
What?
Interesting. And so that really, in my mind, opened the door for at least participating in human spaceflight in some way. I went on to train in a second residency in aerospace medicine, got a job as a flight surgeon at NASA, and then 2 years into that job, after applying, was selected in the astronaut office. And so grateful. It's a very convoluted path.
Right.
Obstacles and challenges along the way, but grateful for the opportunity.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, the story felt like you're shut down with this path, and then that led you to become to get your doctorate degree in medicine,
That's right?
And then that kind of opened up another path for you to come back into this path. It's like sometimes you don't get a straight path,
not a straight line
to where you want to get to, and then life just leads you in another way. But
as you look back on it, I'm grateful for every part of that. Even the day that I was kicked down in the Air Force, I see what once you might describe as a curse.
Yeah.
I now, from the perspective of where I'm at right now, see that day as a blessing. Because I think with 100% certainty, had I stayed in the Air Force, had I flown, I wouldn't be here today. But going through that challenge, created opportunity, created resilience, and ultimately resulted in this incredible privilege of serving as an astronaut.
Right. So you were selected as to become an astronaut in 2009,
That's
I
right.
believe.
That's right.
And then your first mission was 2015 to space.
That's right.
What was that like when you finally went up into the space and looking down on Earth?
Amazing.
A different lens.
Amazing. So you're right. I was selected in 2009. When we bring a new astronaut class in, they immediately start astronaut candidate training.
Yeah.
Spacewalk training.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes. Robotic arm training, flying in the T-38 jet, which is our spaceflight readiness trainer, and then Russian language training.
Russian language training?
Yes, because the Russians are a major partner in the space station program.
I see.
And my first flight was actually on a Russian rocket, the Soyuz rocket and a Soyuz capsule.
I see.
And as a crew member, you have to be technically fluent to be able to serve as a good crew member. But going through all of that, so after finishing astronaut candidate training, served in a technical job supporting other people that were flying until I was assigned, and then started my space station training flow, which is about another 2 years for that specific mission. And then that opportunity to launch. So 4 years of specific training, and then you're on the launch pad. The engine lights, the countdown finishes, the engine lights up. You feel the rumble, you feel the G-forces. And I have a distinct memory of after the launch shroud pulls away from the capsule. I was on the right seat. I have a window right next to my head. The launch shroud pulls away, and that gives you the first view of the Earth from space. And this bright white arc of the first orbital sunrise, absolutely amazing. And, an image that is burned on my consciousness. And then seeing the space station floating there as we're getting ready to dock, and then going through the hatch and being able to float and move around in that larger volume of the space station, just all indelible memories. And really the realization of a lifelong dream.
And that first business trip was 141 days.
That's right. It is not
That's a long
It's not
trip.
a jaunt. It is a, that is a major.
So I wanted to talk about like your life living and working at the ISS, International Space Station. 141 days is your first trip out into space. What was that like? How did you adjust yourself in the first few days? How did you and your other colleagues like cooperate? Because I imagine it's not a very like spacious space station.
And it's actually pretty amazing. The space station now has the internal volume of about a 5-bedroom house.
Oh, that big.
So there's a lot of room inside. And
nice.
The U.S. segment of the space station has multiple modules. And we're at a point now where if most of your work is in one of the modules, and the others are working in the other modules, you could go a whole day without really interacting with each other.
Oh, okay.
That is a confined environment it's a confined space in a hazardous environment. And so you have to be very intentional about being a good teammate. You can imagine that an interpersonal conflict is easier in that environment to occur.
Right.
And is much more difficult in that environment because you can't leave. Like you're stuck there.
Right.
And so our process begins at the very beginning with selection, making sure that we're picking the right people that that have the technical expertise to be able to get through training with no problem.
Okay.
But then when we do a selection, we're choosing people that we want to hang out with for 6 months in a confined space and that you can trust with your life because we trust each other with our lives every day.
For sure. Do you guys do like a team building exercises back down on Earth before you guys leave?
We absolutely do.
Yeah. Do you guys do like personality tests?
We do psychiatric, psychological testing, batteries, interviews, team building exercise, and those are all just in selection.
Okay.
Once we've announced a crew, we start training together.
Okay.
And so that's kind of your first order, getting to know how people think, how they operate, how they cooperate. And then we actually use an outdoor training model with National Outdoor Leadership School, NOLS. And so we'll take a crew and put them out in the wilderness for 10 days. It can be challenging weather conditions, strenuous, difficult, uncomfortable, to really strip away the outer surface and get to the core of, and that's a pretty short time even still.
Right.
But really put people in challenging positions and conditions.
Yeah. It's like a survival reality show.
A little bit, but forcing them to really figure out how to work together effectively.
Right.
And so the core tenets of that particular program that we take into space, so what we describe as expeditionary behavior, and that is self-care and team care. And so self-care is making sure that you're doing all of the things that you need to do to be prepared to execute your part of the mission. So that's getting good sleep, eating well, exercising, doing your evening study and morning study to understand what the day's schedule looks like, so that you can contribute to the overall team's effort
Right.
that you're not a sink for other people having to come help you.
Right.
But be willing to ask for help if you need it.
Right.
So that you can get your work done and then basically look around and say, how can I be an encouragement to the other people on my team today? How can I be a positive force in their work?
Right.
And if everybody's looking out for each other, you can't help but have an extraordinary experience. And that's really the experience that I had on both of my missions was very little interpersonal conflict and just a team effort, including the team that we have on the ground to execute the days, the months, the mission's objectives.
Yeah, I would imagine it's very hard to kind of cultivate that trust and culture because I imagine like you guys all come from different backgrounds.
That's true.
Different like languages, nationalities, and ways of thinking.
That's
when
right.
a problem occurs, you guys maybe want to solve it in different ways.
Yeah.
It's very hard for even me and my buddy like this. We run this channel with another person called Eric, and we did this survival challenge. We rented out an island for 6 days.
Okay.
And we just went in there 6 days. We brought one bottle of water. And then we had to figure out like how to climb trees, how to start our own fire, how to fish. And we almost like, we lost it, almost lost it. So it's hard to imagine you have like a group of maybe 3 or more on your crew. And then you have to really depend on each other.
That's right.
And kind of count on each other to make sure, you know, the space shuttle is safe and you guys are doing what you guys are supposed to do.
Right.
It
takes
a big effort.
an incredible amount of trust.
Yeah.
And so coming up in the organization, you see the professionalism, the vigilance, the expertise that your teammates on the ground are bringing as they're preparing the equipment, preparing the mission, preparing the research, having great communication. Good communication is the currency of trust. And so being able to talk with each other about concerns and to really communicate as a team is critically important. And that all then leads towards when you execute the mission so that you understand what the people on the ground are thinking about. You understand what your crew members are thinking about, what their priorities are, and working those together to be an effective team.
Yeah. And your second mission, your last mission was in 2022.
That's right.
170 days.
Yeah.
Even longer than your first one.
Yeah.
How is that different from your first trip to space? Now you've done it already.
That was a gift in so many ways. First of all, on my first mission, I launched on a Soyuz capsule after training with the Russians. That was such a gift to be a part of that historic space program with so many firsts, first person in space, first spacewalk.
Right.
So to be a part of that system, to see how they operate, to fly in the Soyuz capsule, which is a design conceived in the 60s, but upgraded over time, but still one of the safest vehicles to fly to space in. And on my second mission, to fly with SpaceX, brand new company, cutting edge technology, a different way of training and flying. So to see those two different
contrasts.
The contrast between those two. I had the privilege of commanding that mission. And so being able to share my experience and then to infuse that to prepare and equip my crew members for their mission. For me, my motivation, my first trip was just to fly in space. It was that goal.
That was your ultimate dream.
That's right.
Yeah.
To realize that dream of living and working in space.
Right.
After achieving that, like what motivates me now? What once you've achieved that goal, what's next?
What's next? Yeah.
And so for me, that was to try and ensure that others had that same extraordinary experience. And so as a commander, that opportunity to serve my team, to prepare them, equip them for their mission, and to have that same extraordinary experience was my motivation. And I think the crew that I was a part of would agree that that's the experience that we had.
As a commander on your second mission, would you say your second mission was a little bit more, you were more stressed because you're kind of like in command of this crew and you need to take care of these people?
I think that stress that fear comes from uncertainty, being in a situation that you don't know how to deal with. Our training does a great job of training out those areas of unknowns, training out the uncertainties. And so I would say that my stress level, because I had already done it before, my stress level was lower. Now, certainly I had a responsibility for my crewmates, and that was important to me. But again, they were so exceptional in how they served as teammates, exceptional in their leadership, exceptional in their technological expertise, that I didn't really have to worry about them, because through training, I knew how incredibly capable they were, that it allowed me to think a little more strategically. And it was just, so again, an extraordinary experience to have such an incredible team in space and on the ground to work with, so that we could just focus on the research and our mission.
Perfect. Can you tell me a little bit about like a day in the life on the ISS? Like, what do you guys do when you wake up and then when you go to bed? Like, what happens in between?
Absolutely. We have a very busy schedule. It's scheduled down to the 5-minute increment, which is pretty amazing. And so you'll often
your time management needs to be like on spot.
Yes, absolutely. You need to be prepared.
Okay.
And so you'll often hear ISS astronauts talk about chasing the red line.
Okay.
We have a schedule that has a band that goes horizontally, and that represents all of your activities for the day.
Okay.
And if you click on that, you can get more information, what tools you need, procedures, all of those things.
Okay.
And so this red line just sweeps across that schedule all day, and you're chasing it to make sure that you remain on schedule. Our day typically officially starts at 7. And so we'll generally wake up maybe at 6.
What time zone is that?
So we're in the, great question. Because we're flying around the Earth at 17,500 miles per hour. It means we see 16 sunrises and sunsets in a 24-hour period.
Wow.
Which means if we were connecting our day to what we're seeing outside, it would
lose your mind,
right? Yeah, we would lose our mind. So we actually control our environment. When it's time to go to sleep, we close all the window hatches.
Okay.
We turn the lights out. We go to sleep. We wake up. We turn all the lights on.
Okay.
But that day is anchored to Greenwich Mean Time, or we call it Universal Coordinated Time, which means the schedule is great for the ground controllers in Europe and pretty crummy for everybody else.
I see.
But the day starts. We'll generally wake up around 6.
Okay.
Do our morning hygiene, get breakfast, look at the news on the computer if that's what you want to do. And then
you get Wi-Fi up there.
So we have Wi-Fi on the station that is then connected through our communication system to the ground.
Okay.
And higher speed Wi-Fi or higher speed internet connection is actually a little bit of a newer thing.
Ooh. Okay. So they have that now.
So you have a pretty good connection. Nice. It is not a priority.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot of other things to do.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But it is great for just kind of behavioral health to be able to
connect with your family.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So once you get up, you look at the schedule. You might gather tools that you need for your first event.
Okay.
And then at 7 o'clock, generally we have our morning planning conference. We'll talk with Mission Control in Houston, talk with all the control centers around the world just to see if they have any updates or comments on the schedule that was published. And then we hit the ground running, floating.
Hit the ground floating.
That's right. And so it might be a maintenance task. Hey, we need you to repair this thing. We need you to install this new piece of equipment.
Okay.
It might be a research task. Hey, we need you to go to the plant habitat and take care of the plants for today. Draw some samples. Might be a science where we're the subject, where we've got to draw blood. And then that basically occupies the entire day. And in there, we've got an hour for lunch, which we generally don't take. We might grab some food as we're working on things.
What do you eat? Like a special, like space food?
It is space food. So speaking of space food.
Oh, no.
So
I don't know if I'll enjoy it.
We've got some...
Really?
So the packaging is actually pretty close. So most of our food is either dehydrated or prepared and then exposed to high temperatures or radiation to kill off bacteria.
Okay.
And so being in either of those states gives it shelf life because it'll get launched and may not be eaten for 6 months to a year.
Right.
And so for the dehydrated food, we add water, either cold or hot, depending on the food.
Okay.
Let it sit for 15 minutes, and then it's ready to eat.
Okay.
The other food, we'll put in a food warmer, put it against a hot plate.
Okay.
And that'll warm that pre-prepared food up, and we'll
tear it up and
just tear this off and grab a spoon, and you just eat it.
Oh.
And so things that would come in an envelope like this would be beef stew or chicken fajitas.
Okay.
The dehydrated might be a rice pilaf.
Okay.
Or shrimp cocktail. Now, this is very popular in gift stores.
Okay.
This is freeze-dried. So we've got some freeze-dried bananas here.
Freeze-dried banana. Do I need to add water to it or no?
If you were eating this in space, yes, you would definitely add water to it.
Okay.
Here, these are more of a treat.
Are we going to eat these now? Okay.
And so...
Oh, I smell it. Yeah. It's like
so you
dried banana.
And so it's kind of got a foamy consistency.
Banana chips.
Yep. Now,
not bad.
The truth about most of this is that we don't actually take this stuff to space because it's very dusty.
Oh, okay.
And lots of crumbs. And so that spreads out, and we don't like
it just floats.
It'll float away.
Oh, right.
So it's great. It's a great thing to buy in a gift store.
I see.
And the packaging is pretty close to what we have in space.
Okay. But you also get like dried fruits.
That's right. We do. We have dried fruits.
You just need to add water to it before you...
Well, actually, the dried fruit we'll just eat.
Just eat it dried.
Eat it dry.
Okay.
So we have an hour for lunch.
All right.
And then we exercise for 2.5 hours every day.
2.5 hours?
So we have 2.5 hours set aside, and that includes hygiene and cleaning up and changing.
Okay.
But we'll spend an hour on the treadmill or exercise bike to maintain cardiovascular fitness.
Okay.
And then we'll spend an hour, and we have an hour and a half to do our resistance exercise. So we have a machine that provides up to 600 pounds of resistance using evacuated cylinders.
Ooh, okay.
And it's reconfigurable.
Right, because everything is like almost 0G.
It's all 0G up there.
All 0G, you have to...
That's right.
These equipments probably need to be like designed in a very
and so I'll tell
way.
you that weightlifting device, that resistance device, is a marvel of engineering because it is being used 6 to 7 hours every day with, lots of moving parts.
Right.
And it's vibration isolated from the space station. So you can imagine if you're on a treadmill and you're pounding away on the platform, if you transmit that force into the space station structure, it's not good for the structure.
Right.
If you're weightlifting and you're doing squats and, kind of banging on the space station structure, it's not good. So the whole thing is essentially kind of floating.
Wow.
Which is absolutely amazing. So when you're doing exercise, your feet are on the platform, the bar's across your shoulders, and it actually moves like this, like a clamshell.
Wow.
Instead of just kind of how you would imagine a normal universal gym to operate.
That's so cool. Okay.
So cool to watch, so cool to operate. And that provides us, that resistance exercise maintains bone health and muscle strength, which are, again, very important for when we return to the Earth. So our day then ends at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
A 12-hour day with exercise and a meal in there. We have our evening planning conference with the ground to just kind of recap the day, talk about the next day. And then after that, the evening is ours. And so we'll spend time eating dinner together, answering email, taking pictures.
Looking out the window.
Looking out the window. Absolutely amazing. We call looking out the window astronaut television. Because you get to see.
It's a good station.
Yeah, it's a great station. That's the default. It's the default station.
Wow.
Because even though you're up there for however many days, looking out the window, the Earth is constantly changing. The lighting, the seasons, the weather.
Right.
And you're always looking for places that you've lived, where your family is at, places you want to visit.
Yeah.
And so looking for Taiwan was one of my favorite things to do.
Can you spot Taiwan? Because it's really small.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
And so, and taking pictures of those to share with family and friends.
Yeah.
Taiwan is a little jewel. Just a green jewel, often shrouded in clouds and mist.
Right.
But absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. And you've actually went on spacewalks.
I did.
And I think that's the ultimate astronaut dream. You can go onto the station.
Like that. Absolutely.
But to be in that spacewalk suit and be really literally out in space with just blackness, around you and floating in space, not inside the space station. How did that feel when you're
absolutely right. Being in the spacesuit, doing a spacewalk feels like the most astronaut thing to do.
Right.
And that spacesuit is a marvel of modern engineering because it is a miniature spacecraft. It is a spacecraft that is fitted to your body. Mm-hmm. There are no hoses to provide oxygen or power. It is all encapsulated. Mm. The pressure, the oxygen, scrubbing carbon dioxide, maintaining temperature. Mm-hmm. All of those things are done by the backpack on the spacesuit.
Wow. Okay.
And so we spend hundreds of hours in the pool, a neutral buoyancy laboratory, practicing our spacewalks.
Okay.
And then getting to actually do it, to putting all of that practice to work is absolutely amazing and a highlight of my flight experience because you open the hatch and you go outside and
it's like a movie.
See the Earth. You know, when you look through a window, you see the frame of the window.
Right.
But when you're wearing that helmet, your whole field of view is occupied by the Earth below and then getting to see the outside of the space station. It's not a view that we often get to see.
Yeah, that's right.
And so when you're outside, you're witnessing this incredible structure that's outside and then doing important work out there, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And so...
but do you take like maybe 30 seconds just to pause and just marvel
You have to actually force yourself to do that because the tasks are so intense, trying to get those done, that just taking a moment to appreciate what you're doing is a very special thing to do.
Wow.
And so it's amazing, but it's also a practice of controlled terror because it is also...
You feel a little bit of helplessness.
It is, when you get outside, you recognize that it is just you and your spacewalking partner out there supporting each other.
Right.
In the pool, we have 4 divers assigned to each of us. If something goes wrong, the suit starts to leak, you've got this team that is assembled to grab you, get you up to the surface, and take care of you. Mm-hmm. On the space station and a spacewalk, it is you and your buddy.
Right.
And that's it. And you're relying on each other
to
get through the spacewalk safely and successfully. And so we were well trained. But it is... I would describe it a little bit as the big game or like a Super Bowl because launch, landing, you're there, you're monitoring systems. They are dynamic. They're some of the highest risk things that we do, launch, landing, and spacewalks. The spacewalk is very performance-based. Your success is based on your ability to execute effectively and efficiently.
Right.
And so it's a tremendous challenge physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And once you get inside, when you're done, what a sense of accomplishment.
Wow. How long can you be out there for? Like, how long does a spacesuit can support your life on a spacewalk mission?
For me, carbon dioxide scrubbing was the limiting factor. It depends a little bit on the metabolic rates of the individual.
Okay.
Oxygen supply, carbon dioxide scrubbing, and power are kind of the main, and then the water supply are the main constraints. Or
there's also water supply. You can drink water.
Well, there's water in the suit that helps to provide the cooling.
Oh, does it get hot?
So it can get very hot. So you can imagine being in a being in a trash bag or a rubber suit.
Okay.
And exercising. That heat you can't evaporate.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it can't go anywhere. So there's got to be a way to take the heat that you are shedding from your body and to get rid of it.
Okay.
And so the way the spacesuit does that is we wear an inner suit called an LCVG, a liquid and ventilation and cooling garment.
Okay.
And it's got IV tubing running through it.
Okay.
And water runs through that, cold water. It picks up your heat and it takes it through a pump, takes it to a sublimator on the outside of the suit and rejects that heat into space.
Ooh. Interesting.
And so you can...
Because space is extremely cold.
It can be, it depends.
It depends.
If you're in the sunlight,
if you're in the
it's
sunlight.
350 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're in the shade,
I don't know what that feels like.
It's 300. So about an oven cooking, baking a cake.
Baking a cake, okay.
In the shade, it's minus 250 degrees. And so again, a spacesuit that can work in those temperature extremes is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an experience.
Wow. Yeah, I cannot imagine. I can only imagine what you just described, just like through movies. You know, we've seen a lot of movies growing up. I love space movies, and every time I see like a scene or a shot of an astronaut like walking in space,
That's right.
it's just it must be an incredible feeling.
Some movies do it better than others.
Oh yeah,
Anytime you see an astronaut dive in a spacewalk from one structure to another,
Right.
with no tethers,
yeah.
that nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Because if you miss,
Then you're gone forever.
you're gone. You're gone.
That's scary.
So we have multiple tethers. We have a safety tether. And
I'm sure.
when we're doing our work, we'll put tethers down to keep us in place.
Okay.
Extraordinarily challenging, the most physically and mentally challenging
Wow.
thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
But again, the sense of accomplishment when you've completed a spacewalk is
Yeah.
tremendous.
Speaking of movies, have you seen Project Hail Mary?
I've seen it a couple of times.
A couple of times.
Yes,
I heard you
absolutely.
spoke to Ryan Gosling about your
did.
life in space.
Yeah. So
What did you tell him?
what a privilege to get to be able to consult on that movie.
That's
I
crazy.
love
I
Andy
loved
Weir's
it.
books,
Yeah.
and so excited to see how they turned that book into a movie.
Yeah.
And so I had the opportunity to chat with the team, the writers, and to visit the set.
Wow.
And to talk with Ryan and the directors. And the question was really around spacewalking, or no, not spacewalking, moving around in space, especially as a rookie, as somebody new to the environment. And they were portraying it as kind of chaotic and uncontrolled, and wanted to know if that was realistic. And
I see.
And I agreed 100%. When you first get to space, you're just not familiar with how to
You don't know how to.
You don't know how to
you're floating
move.
around. Yeah.
effectively
Right.
and under total control. And so your first days, you're knocking stuff off of the walls.
Okay.
You know, during my first mission, our crew quarters are arrayed around a ring in Node 2. And so my crew quarters were here, Scott Kelly's were here. My classmate and crewmate Kimia Yui-san, his crew quarters were on the deck. And then we had one of our Russian colleagues was on the overhead. And every time that I would go into my crew quarters, my feet would bang on Kimia's door and knock his door open.
Whoops.
And just very poor manners to be interrupting other people and bothering your crewmates. And that just took time for me to figure out what my body was doing and how to move in a more controlled manner. And so just sharing that with the team affirmed their understanding of like what Ryan moving around in their spacecraft should look like. And that the first time that you're moving around, you're kind of out of control.
Wow. Awesome. I love that movie. Did
I
you
did
relate to Dr. Grace a lot when you saw that movie?
You know what's really fun in both of Andy Weir's books, in both The Martian and Project Hail Mary, is that the protagonist has a biology background.
Yeah, molecular biology.
That's right.
And you study biology.
I did.
Yeah, so I was
So
like,
that
did you relate?
resonates with me.
Wow.
And it's amazing. Just I think that the writing, the arc of Ryland Grace and not really wanting to volunteer for that mission,
Right.
and then in the end volunteering to go save Rocky on his own accord.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Oh my goodness!
No, you're
Terrible,
good.
right?
You're good. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it.
Can we?
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, that was
That's an amazing
the story.
arc.
Yeah. That's a good story. Wow. So having been to space and 2 times and then coming back down to Earth, how has that journey shifted your perspective or changed your perspective about life?
Sure.
Or about Earth in general?
Yeah, it's powerful. For me, it was very powerful because looking back at the Earth from the vantage point of the space station right now, you know, my friends that flew on the Artemis 2 mission,
Yeah.
you see that the Earth is absolutely beautiful. The blues of the water, the white of glaciers and the clouds, the continents have personality. So the oranges and reds of Australia, browns and tans of Africa and the Middle East, the greens of more temperate areas in North America and Southern America, the aurora, these waving bands of neon green with highlights of purple and pink It's absolutely gorgeous. But if you look, as you're looking out, if you look to the right, you look to the left, you look up and down, there's the black, inky void of space. There's nothing else in our vicinity. And you recognize that the Earth, in addition to being home, is the only home of humanity. Our entire history is here on Earth. Our desire from the space station is ultimately to return to the Earth. And that, on the space station, we spend about 30% of our time taking care of the space station, doing repairs, doing maintenance.
Right.
To take care of this thing that is preserving our life in orbit. If the space station breaks, we die.
Right.
It is that simple.
Right.
And if we don't take care of it, and if we allow it to break, the crew on the space station are going to be hurt as a result. And then you look back at the Earth and you recognize that the Earth is humanity's spaceship. It's all that we have. And despite a desire to maybe become a multi-planet species, the Earth is home and it's all that we've got right now. It is our spaceship. And I know for a fact that we do not spend 30% of our days taking care of this spaceship.
No.
And so you see how fragile the Earth is. You see the change that humanity is made on the Earth, and some of it for good. Agriculture, producing the food and water that are necessary for us to survive. And that's good and the right thing to do. But you also see that there are things that we could be doing better.
Right.
To take care of the planet. And so that's something that really resonated with me, that we've got to do better at taking care of the Earth.
Yeah.
And so between after my last mission, my boys were in Scouts, and so I was very interested in helping to teach conservation and outdoor ethics. I trained as a Texas Master Naturalist and volunteer at a local nature center. It's hard to think what you can do as an individual to protect the Earth, but if everybody's thinking about it and everybody's doing their part, the net gain could be incredible.
Right. That's beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes I think about, I'm only a speck of conscious in this whole wide universe.
Right.
If you zoom out so much,
absolutely,
you're really just a conscious living on a rock.
Right. Yeah.
We're so small. And sometimes when I think of that, it kind of de-stresses me because we're all so busy with our daily lives. We have work to do. For me, I have to think about videos. I have to think about how to manage my team. I have to think about friends, family, interrelationships. But at the end of the day, we should just live in the moment. We don't have to think so much out in the future or stress too much about or regret too much about what we had missed in the past because nothing really matters. We're just here on this beautiful, little sphere and just try to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of de-stresses me sometimes.
That feels like a very space-aware perspective.
I love space.
It's great.
I love space. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that perspective is an important one, especially if it de-stresses you.
Yeah.
But I think also we recognize that we are all crew members on Spaceship Earth. And that
Spaceship Earth.
We need to be taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Like a crew on the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Just thinking about each other and how we can be a positive influence and encouragement to our crewmates.
We're all on the same team.
That's right.
We're all one big family.
That's right.
Wow. Speaking of family, you have 3 children, right?
I do.
Do they want to be astronauts? Looking at their dad, oh, my dad's an astronaut. Maybe I want to follow his path.
We've talked about it, and no one has voiced that specific aspiration.
Okay.
I'm grateful to my parents for supporting my dreams. I remember very clearly them saying, hey, you can do whatever you want to do if you work hard.
That's beautiful.
And we've tried to share that with my kids. My wife and I really want them to pursue what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, and to support them in that dream. And they've each kind of picked a different path, and we're excited.
That's good. Lastly, I want you to share your maybe advice to dreamers out there. Now, maybe they have a dream. Maybe the dream is not to becoming an astronaut,
right?
But everyone has their own dream.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to those dreamers to motivate them or encourage them?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, have the courage to pursue that dream. The recognition that hard work creates opportunities and opens doors. And so in my own experience, in my own journey, nobody told me to apply to medical schools or to start taking entrance exam prep.
Right.
And if I hadn't done that, there would not have been that opportunity once I had been kicked out of the Air Force.
Right.
And so I like to describe it as, especially this opportunity of becoming an astronaut, that hard work buys the lottery ticket.
It gives you a chance.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you don't invest that hard work, you're not even in the game.
Right.
But the hard work gives you the opportunity, and the harder you work, the more doors that are open. You may find an opportunity that you didn't even know exist. And while that dream maybe isn't realized, there's another dream that is created because of the network, because of the opportunities that you've gained through that hard work. And so having invested the hard work and then winning the lottery of this job of getting to serve as an astronaut, I am immensely grateful for that and for all the people that were a part that invested in me along the way. This is not a reflection of my own successes, but really the success, the investment of those around me. And just like spaceflight, an astronaut does not get to space on their own. It requires an incredible team on the ground and in space to manufacture the spacecraft, to design the software, to figure out the safety procedures, to build the launch pad. Space is the ultimate team sport. And I'm grateful to be on that team and grateful to have the opportunity to share it with you, to share it with your listeners.
It's my honor, and my audience is privileged to have you on our podcast, really.
Well, thank
I don't
you.
think I'll ever meet another astronaut in my lifetime.
I'm sure you will.
But yeah, thank you for coming on to the podcast. At the very end, I have a very small gift.
Oh, wow.
It's right behind your back.
Okay.
I heard you're a Star Wars fan.
Ah, cool. Oh, that's amazing.
So hopefully you can take this back to home, to
cool.
America.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
This.
Thank you.
So nice to chat with you.
Thank you. And that's all for this episode. See you on the next one. Bye. 再见。好，我们现在来到 QA 的环节。第一个留言者是来自于 Jinji。Hi Ian 跟 Aaron， 你们好。我们最近被荒岛求生的系列圈粉的马来西亚毒粉，订阅频道后慢慢把其他影片看完，跟 Tim 的 Podcast， 希望你们未来可以计划来马来西亚跳脱舒适圈。刚刚迎来的工作满5周年，而且有一个跟我并肩作战那么久的同事，明年开始要调去另外一个分店工作。第一个时间听到这个消息的时候，其实蛮伤心的，想问一下 Ian 跟 Aaron， 当初决定分开排便，两个人是怎么调试自己的心情，还有怎么找回工作的那个初心？马来西亚我真的是很想去，其实我去过东马，也有去过吉隆坡 KL， 然后我自己下一个想去的是槟城吗？对，槟城，听说那边有很多好吃的，所以有机会我真的会想去马来西亚多看看，多走走。那你现在这个问题是刚接到这个消息，然后要去另外一个分店工作，我觉得这也是一个对你来说，当然前面会有点抗拒，可是我觉得到一个新的环境的工作，也可以让你就是也是一个新的人生体验啊，在一个新的环境，交新的朋友，认识新的同事，跟新的人相处，你要解决的问题又是不一样类型的问题了，所以一定是可以带来更多的收获跟成长。这也不代表你要跟这个现在的同事，跟你并肩作战这么久的同事就不联络啊，也不会啊。我现在辞职已经6年了，哇，6年，明年就7年了。 我现在辞职这么久了，我还是会跟我前同事，可能1-2年，他们真的来台湾出差，或经过台湾的时候，我们还是会吃饭，或者是我机会回湾区，我还是会找一些比较好的同事过来，就是一起聚一下，然后聊一下我们曾经一起奋斗的一些故事，所以也不会好像失去联络啦，只是说我们在不同的阶段有不一样的人生，就是不一样的 phase， 那这不同的 phase 都可以带给我们不同的成长，我觉得也很棒。那我们自己是怎么调试的分开拍片的时候其实很明确啦，因为其实这个决定其实就在衡量我们自己想象的生活是什么，因为我们不可能就2个人绑在一起一直拍到老，那总有一天我们要有自己的生活节奏，然后尊重彼此想要在生活中得到的东西。所以因为我们尊重彼此，尊重这份友情跟尊重彼此的需求大过于我们一定要维系这个频道的模样，所以就很直观啊，这也没有好像一定要其实我们创频道第一天就已经知道一定会有一天可能会分开拍片，然后有一天是一定这个频道会消失，会停止拍片的一天，所以我们本来就知道一定透过我们的成长啊，或者是我们自己的经历，一定有一天这个东西会转变一个模式，所以这个模式的转变反正怎么来就怎么面对咯。所以还好啦，我们那时候调试的心情还好，只是要怎么讨论出这个彼此工作的模式，怎么变成这个新的模式长什么样子，讨论的比较久。怎么找回工作的初心哦？我一直都有工作的初心啊，一直都没有消失过啊，为什么要找回？我可以理解很多可能容易被分心啊，不管是我们业配量越来越多啊，或者是很多人想要找我们合作，找我们去这个地方去那个地方，很容易会晕吗？是用晕来形容吗？可是反正对我跟 Eric 来说，本来在这个平台赚钱就不是第一个目的，所以只要我们自己知道我们在做的事情对得起自己，然后是我们就是觉得有意义的事情就好了。然后其实一直以来我们都还是有在做我们自己开心跟觉得有意义的事，所以这个初心一直都在的。第二个留言来自于嗨嗨嗨哈哈 go go go， 明年走中奖见。希望明年个人的影片也可以各得1支，合体的也来1支，但真的希望明年有走中奖啊！想问有机会挑战太平洋屋及纵走吗？这是什么？好，走中奖应该会有啦。2026年，因为我算还是委员之一嘛，应该啊，他们应该没有把我就是 kick out of 委员吧。我应该是委员之一啊。那据我所知，是大家是有这个计划办下去的，所以希望会有。那得不得奖就看缘分。对，我们现在得失心真的也没有那么重啊，所以得不得奖都 OK。当然希望得奖会很棒。那你说的这个挑战太平洋屋及纵走，这是什么啊？这是在太平洋里面的海里面的一个挑战吗？可是纵走又感觉是一个山脉，不行，我等一下可能读完这个留言，我要去查一下这个是什么。然后如果我没有挑战的话，那你就会在 YouTube 上面或者是 Podcast 上面听到或看到这个消息。好，等一下去查一下。好，谢谢大家留言。那如果大家喜欢我们 Podcast 的话，欢迎到 Apple Podcast 或者 Spotify 帮我们留言，然后打个5颗星，我们都会抽大家留言来回复大家。那今天的 Podcast 就到这边，我们下期见，拜拜。